Hi guys, I hope you are marvelously well. Today in this Marketo tip we will talk about real-time marketing or triggers into Marketo, or how you can plan actions based on the future behavior of your visitors or customers. For instance, on the filling out of a form or clicking into an email. I'm Sylvain Avril, founder of Merlin and Leonard and certainly the Leonard's team, and this is a new Marketo tip. I'm in my Marketo in marketing activities here, so we are in the heart of the reactor here, and I've created a test smart campaign. So what is a smart campaign? That's the most granular brick you can use in Marketo to create actions, so to target people, whether people in the database that's done something in the past or people that will do something in the future. We'll see that with the trigger, and add some action for those people. For instance, send an email, wait, change a value in the database, add those people to a campaign with a certain status, play with the ABM, change their score, push them to Salesforce, create a task, call a webhook, for instance, if you want to send a text message or send their information to an external database to enrich the person profile. And schedule is where you will define precisely the options of this section, meaning how many times this person can go through this campaign, and should we block the email thanks to the communication limit or not. The result will be the screen where you see the exact what happens in this campaign exactly, how many people, who are the people who pass through the flows and what they did in the flow. What is interesting today is to work on the trigger. Let's start again. Here, let's try with a simple example. Here, I want to send an email to whoever click in this email on this link. So let's take this email. I can add constraints. I have plenty of constraints. So the one I'm interested in is the link constraint. And here, Marketo will show me all link that I have in my email. I will take the preference center link, and I could add, for instance, a minimum number of times. So I want to trigger an action in this flow to whoever clicks in the future in an email, this email, on this link, as soon as the person clicked twice. And we don't have any time range for that. So that's very convenient. And I can add another trigger, and I can put, for instance, here plenty of other emails. So I don't know what I do. That would read here. I would like to trigger those actions here, whether to anyone who opens one of those emails or anyone who clicks this link in this email at least 2 times. So I can pile up as many triggers as I want. We don't recommend to pile up too many, because it can be hard to maintain or to read for your colleague. Just a quick note here, Marketo has just announced that we will have another screen to do that, which will allow us to do this graphically, with boxes and arrows. So it will be easier for the people who start Marketo to create their first campaign. So here we have triggers around the emails for the open, the click, the bounce, the delivery, the forward, the unsubscribe. What I love in Marketo is that you can extend the triggers. For instance, I've plugged 23, which is a video platform and webinar platform. I've plugged Xeno, which is a chatbot and chatbox. And I have my own customer portal. And I've created triggers here that will, for instance, trigger as soon as somebody watches more than 50% of any video. That's great to add, for instance, a score, plus 5 points to the person to just remove that so that it's clearer. If I want to update my scoring system and I want to add points to anyone who watches more than 50% of any video, that's how I would do that. And in the flow, I would use my change score action. Same for the interaction here, for the Xeno chatbot interaction. I've got plenty of triggers from Salesforce because I'm synced with Salesforce. That would be the same with Dynamics, whether activity, meetings, tasks are created or updated, whether an opportunity is created and attached to a contact is attached to an opportunity, or the opportunity is updated. We saw in the previous Marketo tip that we could import our Salesforce data model into Marketo. That's what I did here with the, for instance, loyalty transaction, member of project, mission project. All those turned into triggers that could help me, for instance, do a better marketing. Let's send an email that explains how the project will work as soon as anyone is added to a project. And I would do that with this member of project trigger. And here, let's imagine the role is, I just want to send email to the champion, not the user. That's how I would do that. So Marketo is really rich, and Enrich itself, the more you use, the more you integrate with anything. Here we have the trigger for the native Marketo chatbot, which is different from the Xeno chatbot. I've got triggers from the sales app that Marketo proposes to the sales population. So I can, I've got a plugin outside of Marketo dedicated to the sales that help them create their own email based on marketing templates or their own nurturing programs. So that's something that's connected to Marketo. We've got integration with, for instance, LinkedIn lead gen forms or Facebook lead ads. So as soon as anybody in LinkedIn fills out a lead gen form, it's pushed to Marketo, and I can trigger something based with this trigger here. That's so great. Here, I could also extend in Marketo the data model, and we saw in a previous Marketo tip that I created this Bateau custom object. So I can trigger an action, send a text message to anyone who has just bought a boat. Yeah, that's hard to say in French. The fills out form is the most used trigger certainly in Marketo. As soon as enters a form on this web page, and in this query string we have UTM source is blah blah blah. This is how we do that. As soon as the program status is changed, people added or removed from a list. So we can do a mountain of things thanks to those triggers. Virtually, there's nothing I cannot do in Marketo. I never found myself stuck in a situation where I say, oh, this trigger is missing, I cannot do that. That's incredible, the number of triggers we have. And this is one of the challenge in Marketo, is to master all the triggers exactly to do what you want. We will explain those in later Marketo tips. Don't worry, this was just a brief presentation of one of the main functionalities of Marketo. Talk to you soon for a next Marketo tip.